Currently, she's doing her PhD in the Cologne Grad School of Aging under the guidance of Professor Alexander Trifonovich, where she's studying the role of mitochondria in adipose tissue remodeling and aging.
During aging, what happens is that the cells, they senesce, right? They undergo senescence and they stop dividing after a point. You want to ensure that as long as the organism lives, he lives to the best of his ability in the healthiest of conditions, retains his or her cognition, and does not suffer from morbid disorders. So one of the new perspectives is basically to study what role does lipid or fat have to play in aging. And this is something that is not very generally spoken about. As it might be very obvious to you, the lipid droplet composition is somewhere midway between that of a white and a brown fat cell. And likewise, the number of mitochondria is also somewhere midway between a brown and a white cell. So they have the special ability called uncoupling, where they can decouple the synthesis of ATP or the energy production from the breakdown of fats, and they can dissipate the excess energy as heat in the body. These metabolic sensors are the general managers. They sense the environmental cues, the nutrient cues in a time-dependent manner. They send downstream signals, downstream orders to the workers, to the laborers, to the effector proteins, such as those here in purple and in orange. And this explains that actually cold exposure can induce beiging of white fat even in humans. The red stained organelles are the mitochondria, and as you can see, they are really numerous in the cells, and they are present as a network, and they surround the nucleus as well. However, my mutant mice do not show such a drastic weight gain, and they are basically leaner even after weeks of high-fat diet. At the same time, these mice did not have diabetes. So we want to check how well is the glucose cleared from the bloodstream. And now I'm talking to you about a genetic manipulation that is having a very similar impact. That you slightly tweak the mitochondria to behave in a dysfunctional manner. It does not kill the cell, but it tricks the cell into believing that it needs to optimize its functioning in order to cope up with this stress. In a lipid-centric, in an adipose tissue-centric manner, what are the signals that these adipose tissues give to liver, pancreas, heart, brain, lungs, etc. So this is again one of the new concepts in the field of aging that speaks about retrograde signaling or backward signaling from the mitochondria to the master regulator of the cell, which is the nucleus, and the synchronicity between them. For me, I believe in having a strict work-life balance, and this is something that the environment in Germany and the environment of my lab has allowed me to do. So there are a lot of things about myself that I have rediscovered ever since I started my PhD, be it dancing, traveling, singing, cooking, and also keeping up with the traditions and not missing home a lot there.
What maintains the homeostasis between between your white fat and brown fat or beige tissues? Is the molecular mechanism known?
Yes, so this is something that scientists are studying, and so far there is no definitive answer. The more the beige fat, the better it is for the body, is what the general notion was. But people realized that you also need some storage to happen, because in times of starvation, you need the body to have enough energy stores to be released. So indeed, there is a dynamic balance and a dynamic proportion of the white and the brown or the beige adipose that should occur, but it is very, very variable. And what people have now also recently started to appreciate is that there is also some structural difference, like, you know, the cells which are towards the inside of the adipose tissue, they beige before the peripheral cells. So this is something that is only starting to being observed now and studied systematically. But in terms of percentages, it is still not clear about what is the relative proportions of white versus beige and how is the homeostasis maintained. And this was with respect to the percentages. But if you mean functionally, then this is very cool, because a lot of times, especially during starvation, it is seen that in the same tissue, the lipid droplets in the white adipose tissue are broken down because of signals that you get from the liver. So lipases are activated in the white adipose tissue, not in the beige. So selectively, they are activated in the white adipose. The stored lipid droplets are broken down. Those fatty acids are taken up then by the beige adipose tissue. Beta oxidation occurs there and they dissipate then the energy. So this is the kind of crosstalk that happens even inside a tissue. Yeah, I think as I was talking today, I could feel the excitement in my own self, because you realize how you really have to dissect everything layer by layer, understand the molecular regulation, and then complete the cycle by using the findings to kind of develop interventions that can help in the improvement of a particular, lifestyle disorder or a condition. So I think that is what research is for me. It is the completion of this cycle, in-depth understanding of how every molecule in your body works, what are the positive and the negative impacts of the lifestyle interventions, and why I would encourage people to take up research is for the same reason that, as I told you, one schematic that I showed you would be because of 25 to 30 successful PhDs. So we do need a greater understanding of the complex network of pathways that our body is. And that's why research is important. And that's why it excites me, because I have the satisfaction that at this point, nobody else is working on the same question that I am working on, and that my thesis will be unique. So that is what keeps me going, unless I am likely to be scooped, which we'll know.
Research on Web is an online platform where we are taking the small and significant steps in this journey. We are organizing weekly scientific webinars. We are publishing semi-technical blogs. And from the next month, we are organizing fully technical research workshops to make people more and more aware of what is actually happening in the field of science and technology. So if you're a researcher, the only thing you need to do is to either WhatsApp me or Anirudh, or just drop a message in our Facebook page or LinkedIn, and we'll get in touch with you and we will guide you in every possible way so that you become a part of this research enhancing experience.